Ah, hello. How are we all doing? I know I said I would do raids tonight, but I'm feeling main story quests right now. Just feel like reading. So that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, let's get into it. Why Sergeant Sun, ever a welcome sight. Tidings for Admiral Issei. She is presently receiving guests, but for the scions, I know she will make an exception. Follow me. My friends, what brings you here this day? Is this true? By the Navigator, a cure for tempering. As often as I've been in awe of these signs, I would not have thought it possible. And yet it is admirable. Admirable. We have done it here in Limsa, and production of more familiars has already begun. You have my thanks, truly. This will do much to advance the cause of peace. Yet I fear it will take more to close the rift twixt man and beastman. Even to speak thus divides us. Welcome as it is, a cure will not guarantee reconciliation between our peoples. For though summoning and the tempered may serve to fuel the conflict, they are but symptoms of it. If we are to resolve the primal problem once and for all, we must address the cause. We must strive for mutual understanding and find a way to leave our bloody past behind. "'Twas I who moved that the Alliance renew its push for peace. Since our ancestors came to these shores some 7 centuries past, we Limsidians have been at odds with those who share our island home. Save for the brief moment of cooperation with the kobolds, our history has been one of nigh constant territorial squabbling. Meanwhile, a struggle with the Shogun for control over the seas has only grown fiercer, a matter made worse by the thrice damned calamity driving them to seek new spawning grounds. With survival at stake, each had no choice but to fight, and so I dismissed peace as impossible. Impossible is a word coined by the weak, I proclaimed to all who listened, and then gave up, and yours put me to shame. Since you led us to victory against the Black Wolf, you have achieved the impossible again and again and again. And I thought it high time I followed suit, hence my proposal to the Alliance Council. But no sooner did I reach out to our neighbors in Riverend than my own people sought to thwart me. You speak of the pirates who failed to attend this meeting. I, acting though a friendly faction among the kobolds, we had intended to seek an audience with a prominent patriarch. But the bloody executioners would not hear of it. and their absence sent a message to the rest. Though they are but one of the three pirate powers, they are the greatest, and any attempt at peace would founder without them. But one of the three great pirate. I'm given to understand that their leader, Captain Hailfer, has been bedridden for some while with an ailment of the lungs. Correct. In his absence, his right hand leads a man named Sicard, but recently risen to prominence among their ranks. Save for his disdain for authority, little is known about him. We have invited him to speak with us more than once, but he will not come. I have tasked the Yellow Jackets and the Rogues with uncovering his motives, but they have learned not of any value. We have a nose for the truth. Whatever this Sicard wants, we'll find out. Truly, I would be much obliged. I shall look forward to hearing what you learn then. Good luck. I know not of the city save what I read or heard in passing, so in this matter I will follow your lead. The Admiral is right. The cause of the conflict needs to be addressed. We'll do what we can to ease the way, but it ultimately falls to the Lominsians to make peace with their neighbors. By way of first step, I suggest we split up and make inquiries around town. Someone must know this Sicard. If you could approach the pirates, yell. The rest of us will seek out the merchants and adventurers. Oh, it's been a while since I've done a little quest in Limonza. I've actually done all the yellow quests here, I think. Captain Roswin led the Sanguine Sirens to topple the food chain near Limsa. You want to join the meanest crew on the sea, then you best bloody your cutlass and thicken your hide. Alright, pirate talk. You want to know about Sicard? He's a willy bugger is what he is. Found some clever way to make coin, they say, and traded it for Mong Kate's place at Old Haverhill's side. There was a time we raced the executioners for our pick of the Empire's fleet, but the Guardians are gone, and them days with them, owing to which we've all of us had to look for other ways to make ends meet. With that jumped up glitch rat, Sicard landing the juiciest whatever it may be. Not that we sirens are struggling mind. We do well enough guarding fishing boats from the fishbacks on other species. Get the first pick of the produce for our trouble, see? Quality stuff at a bargain price. This we pass to our sisters as we can sail on account of getting old or wounded or with child, and they cook it up and sell it for a pretty profit. Simple. Oh, I miss the old ways, don't get me wrong, but when I see the girls with their little ones, I think to myself, a life o' peace and quiet ain't all bad. If you hear, oh, that scrawny whelp making that much coin, you tell me, alright? I'll make it worth your while. It's the holidays. Same old dialogue. Okay. Most folk think of Limos as the city of pirates, but a new era has ushered in a new breed of buccaneer. Are you interested in hearing more? Curious about Sicard, are you? As am I, my friend, as am I. Sadly, I know nothing of the man, save that the bloody executioners experienced a marked improvement in their fortunes after his promotion. Quite how he achieved this is a matter of some debate. As you know, the Thalassocracy permits us to attack only Garlean vessels, yet these have all but vanished from the sea since the Empire turned in upon itself. In order to adapt, we Krakens have taken to trading with the East, but the executioners are less forward-looking. I cannot imagine they would willingly abandon the old ways. So how, then, are they lining their coffers? Whatever their secret, they are not like to share it with their rivals, but mayhap you will have more luck. I have told you all I know of Sicard. Should you learn how the bloody executioners are lining their coffers, you will share their secrets with me, I trust. Yeah. Goldbert. Not Godbert. Goldbert. No, Limonza was actually my starting town. That As I went about making inquiries, I chanced upon a shop that boasted a rather enticing selection of sweetmeats. Perhaps we could take Gabu and Graha there one day. Ah. Walking through the city, one would never suspect this was, until recently, a bastion of piracy. The Admiral is to be commended for overseeing so swift a transformation. I see everyone has returned. Now, who would like to go first? So just as their imperial prey began to disappear, Sicard turned the executioner's fortune around with a mysterious new source of income. Whatever it is, it's nothing to scoff at. According to the tavern keeper I spoke to, the crew have been indulging themselves as never before, but no amount of drink seems to loosen their tongues as to how they are coming by their coin. For my part, I spoke with a reporter from the Harbor Herald. The publication has been investigating the secret of the executioner's good fortune and making little headway. Plainly, the executioners do not wish the nature of their business to be made public. And I think I know why. In the course of making inquiries on Hawker's Alley, an interesting fact came to light. Just as the executioners began to enjoy better fortunes, the price of crystal went into sharp decline. A sudden fall in demand, I was told. Curious, I contacted Hari Boulder, who has been watching the movements of the beast tribes, and my suspicions were proven correct. Despite ever-worsening relations between the beast tribes and the Valar Asakri, neither Titan nor Leviathan have made an appearance of late, suggesting that the kobolds and the Shanad lack the means with which to summon them. Do you mean to say the executioners are divesting them of their crystals. All indications point to that conclusion, yes, though we have no hard evidence as yet. We must investigate further. Agreed, so how do we proceed? Oh, I have an idea about that. In fact, I have already taken the liberty of making certain provisions. Do you remember how Alphinaud pretended to be some manner of merchant to infiltrate Ilmor? Well, I'll bet you 10 gil he's about to reprise the role. If Alphinaud theory proves well-founded, it would go some way to explaining the executioner's vehement opposition to peace. During my inquiries, a disgruntled merchant informed me that the wholesaler of the crystals had recently arrived in Limonza, offering wares at prices far undercutting the competition. After asking around, I was able to gain an introduction and will shortly pose a potential buyer. In a bid to establish the crystal's provenance, the man is due to be at Oskin's Embrace in Lower Laska shortly. I suggest we make our way there at once. Violence. Ahoy there, lass. You keen to visit the island sanctuaries, I take it? Bugger me, you're unaware of the fuss going on about the old affair? If ye aid southeast near the Isle of Imran, that is, he'll reach the Syladides. Venture much as like yourself, you've been granted the right to cultivate a number of deserted isles there. Don't get your hopes up, though. Ain't as if any and all can go get themselves a permit for one of them sanctuaries. Far as I can tell, old projects is still in its infancy, and the Admirable's bloody fussy about candidates. Tell you what, since I like ye, I'll take ye to any mate of yours. I'll safe sound. You need only say the word. Oh, okay. That's cool. Alright, there, that's what can I take? Okay. Well, that's nice that was there. Alright. That appears to be our merchant. Wish me luck. Wait, if he truly is in league with the bloody executioners, he surely would be wary of those allied to the Admiral. The Scions not least of all. Compared to yours and Yo's, mine is an unfamiliar face. Let me play the role of the buyer. Raha is right, and even if you aren't recognized on sight, you look too gentle to be mixing with society's underbelly. Gentle, but very well. I leave it to you, Graha. Got business with me, Catboy? You're the crystal wholesaler? That I am, but you're no merchant, so what do you want the crystals for? Don't look at us, you idiot, you'll give yourself away. Oh, I see, you're a weaponsmith, am I right? And you need the crystals to make staffs like that fine specimen you got there. That's right, I am indeed a weaponsmith, and I use not but the finest materials. I bid you show me your wares. Well, we don't invite just anybody into our storehouse. It takes time to establish trust, you understand. Look, I have a large and urgent commission. If the quality is satisfactory, I will not quibble over the price. Alright, it's plain that's no ordinary crystal adorning your staff, so I'll make an exception. Come with me. It seems to be working. Let's follow them. Given how long he spent playing with the crystal art, you'd think Graha would be a better actor. Honestly, if I hadn't been for that staff, you must remember to thank Tatur. They went inside that tunnel, quietly now. You won't find any finer, especially not for the price. Indeed, I would expect to pay more than double for such quality. How could they possibly be so cheap? There's nothing unlawful about them if that's your worry. They're from Granamore, if you take my meaning. Stuff's as pure as it gets. You won't be disappointed, so how much do you want? Oh, Gromuro, taken from the kobolds, just as we suspected. That's enough. Shut your gobs and turn around. Slowly. Slowly. I'm Sicard, acting captain of the Bloody Executioners. No need to introduce yourselves. We know who you are, Scions. And we also know you've been chatting to the Admiral. Got eyes and ears everywhere, see? Comes with being the only true pirate crew left in Limsa. So we've established you ain't here to buy crystals. The question is, what are you here for? You are bold to reveal yourself to us without knowing our objective, but that would explain your swift rise to power. You have spoken plain, and so I shall return the favor. We came here to learn why the Bloody Executioners oppose the Admiral's will. And we have our answer. Should Lamonsa make peace with the kobolds, you would lose your source of newfound wealth. That's right. Just to remind you, though, we ain't breaking any rules here. The law forbids us from attacking enemy vessels not flying the Imperial flag, but it don't say nothing about beastmen. Only reason we keep our operation nice and quiet is because we don't want no one taking our business. Wait, just listen to the end, will you? For what it's worth, I have the highest respect for you and yours, her especially. While the Maelstrom were worrying about dirtying their fancy red harbor, you lot stormed Ugranmo, and battered bleeding Titan himself raised a mug to you when I heard the news. And now we're following in your footsteps, making sure the beastmen never summon their stinking gods again. Particularly your successors, we are. When there were still Imperial ships about, we did our bit for Limsa and went after him. But with the Garleans gone, there's no one left to ply our trade on except the beastmen. So let us have that, eh? It's only fair. Contentious though some may find your views, it is true that you have broken no laws. That being so, I see no reason why you should not state your case directly to the Admiral's face, unless the acting captain of the only true pirate crew left in Limsa Lamonza has some other cause to hide in a cave. Well said indeed. Alright, I'll meet with the Admiral. I'll even provide the venue, the Astilia. I trust you won't turn down the invitation. I don't know about you, but it was all I could do to stop myself punching Sicard in the smirking face whenever he opened his mouth. Though I have some passing knowledge of prior events, I am yet ill-qualified to meddle in Limosian affairs. It was not my place to argue with Sicard, much as I would have liked to. Nay, it is for the Admiral to deal with him and the Bloody Executioners both, by bringing them to the negotiation negotiating table. We have played our part. I thought myself the hunter, but it turns out I was the prey. A timely reminder that the pirate powers of Lamonza are not to be trifled with. But all's well that ends well. Gratia's timely provocation had the desired effect, and Sicard has agreed to a meeting. Let us hurry back to Lamonza and pass on his invitation to the Admiral. Why do I have so much trouble saying that word? Okay. Sergeant Sun, your companions have already reported to the command room. Will you be joining them? While we have no assurances Sicard will be amendable to reason, there can be no compromise without discussion. Sicard does not want for confidence, that much is plain, but I have faith in the Admirable. She has dealt with far worse. The Astlika is the very last place for such a meeting. The Admiral will be marching right into the Curl's den. I hope we don't end up regretting this. There you are. We have eagerly awaited your return. Welcome back, my friends. What news? So, they have been stealing crystals from the kobolds. My thanks for solving the mystery and securing a meeting besides. Suffice it to say, I accept Sicard's invitation and would have you join me as my guests. The future of Linza hangs upon the outcome of the meeting, and I would have the Scions present to bear witness.
Look who's come crawling! Traitor!
You can shove your piece!
Welcome aboard, Admiral. I'll wager you don't remember me. Sicard, acting captain of the bloody executioners, at your service.
'Twas kind of you to invite us. Now, if Captain Hillfear has a message for me, I bid you speak it.
We have just the one demand. That you forget this bilge about making peace with the beastmen. Ours is a nation of pirates. Always has been, always will be. Deny us our right to plunder, and you deny who we are.
Too bloody right!
Pirates till we die!
What we want, we take! Piracy has no place in our future.
What'd she say?
Wow.
Pirates have no place. Our nation has prospered through piracy, 'tis true. Yet it is but one part of our long and storied history. Centuries ago, our ancestors led a failed rebellion and were driven from their homes with little more than the shirts on their backs. In fear of their lives, they sailed south until they came to these shores. Finding the land occupied by kobolds, however, they were forced to turn to piracy in order to survive. And survive they did. But not so long ago, when the Empire threatened to crush everything we'd built, we set aside piracy and joined hands with our neighbors. This too was in order to survive. And survive we did. Time after time we fought the Empire, and time after time we won. And through trade with our newfound allies, we prospered more than we ever did through pillaging and plundering. The Empire teeters on the brink of collapse. Ere long, provinces like Wurlit and Bosnia and many others will regain their freedom. When they do, our matchless fleet will lead the world in a new golden age of commerce. The tides favor us, and the ocean beckons with our vast bounty. But if we cling to the old ways, this great ship we call Limsa will trade the boundless seas for a lagoon. Shall we scorn the world's wealth for a plundered pittance then? Or shall we embrace change and thrive like our ancestors before us? The choice is yours. But if we are to prosper in the coming age, the whole of Vilbrand must become our ship, and a kobold and Sahagin our crewmates.
Rousing words. Might even be some truth in them. But pirating's all we've ever known. And we ain't about to give it up just 'cause you say so. Still, we're all the Mincins here and no one wants a war. So where does that leave us? Long before you became Admiral, I heard you was captain of the League of Lost Bastards. That true? If so, you'd know how we pirates settle our differences.
A duel. Very well. As Admiral of Limsa Laminsa, I accept your challenge.
over! Not till one of us is dead! Finish the job! Or I will!
It's the captain!
Captain Elfair!
Ye fool! 'Twas over afore it began.
Captain!
Seems the whelps have been yapping while their master was abed. Listen well, all of ye. Since the signing of the Galadian Accord, we all of us have been part of the same crew. The crew of the good ship Limsa Laminsa. At the helm of that ship is the Admiral. And 'tis she who decides where we sail. Was I not clear on that point? Or did you forget whose deck you stand on? Nay? Then what in the seven hells are you playing at?
It's all we know, Captain. If we ain't pirates, what are we?
You're bloody idiots is what ye are. Idiots with your own lives ahead of ye. Ye can do anything ye want. Be anything ye want. We're pirates, aye. And we pirates love our loot. But that ain't our first love. Our first love is the sea. The sea! And what she brings us. Freedom! So hold fast to that. Let the brine-crusted husk that stands before you now be the last of them as knew naught save out of steel. And make of yourselves a new breed of pirate! Lad, I made ye me right hand 'cause I saw something in ye. And I still do. You've the makings of a captain. All you lack's the belief. Well now, it seems we're of one mind after all. Apologies for the misunderstanding, Admiral. We're with ye, wherever ye be headed.
You have my thanks, Hilfir.
Your choice of dueling pistol did not escape my notice. Good old Annihilator. Ender of many a proud pirate's voyage. Mistbeard's vanished into legend, and it won't be long before I take my rest in the depths. Yet be that as it may, the old ways can only truly die when we've dealt the Empire the telling blow. There'll be stormy seas ahead, no doubt. But I'm trusting ye to steer us through to the other side.
Okay. There are times when one must stand one's ground, even if the cost of failure is beyond reckoning. The Admiral did just that, and I have nothing but respect for her. As she continues to steer her nation through this period of transition, I pray the navigator will see fit to fill her sails. When the discussion gave way to a duel, I feared what might unfold, yet only a fool would underestimate the admiral, as Sicard soon discovered. Wait, while I don't condone what Sicard has been doing, I know how difficult it can be to change course. Took me long enough to join the Scions, didn't it? Like Miss Feared before whom Hilford chose to trust the future of our nation to the Admiral. That was the moment I believed that the good ship Limonza finally embarked upon her new course. Though I had anticipated a duel, I did not foresee that Hilif would intervene. But full glad am I that he did. 'Twould have been ashamed to kill the boy. 'Twould have been ashamed to kill the boy. Instead, the whelp has learned a valuable lesson, and we have made peace amongst ourselves. All that remains is to do likewise with our neighbors. There are times, yeah. Now, I need hardly tell you, but any attempts to negotiate with the tribes is doomed to fail unless their minds can first be wrestled from the grip of their gods. And so, in the meeting we seek to arrange with the kobolds, I would have you free their leader of Titan's influence. Leave it to us, we will open his ears to reason. You have my thanks. Ere we proceed, there is something you should know. Some 50 years passed when the Sagan swarmed at our halls in ever greater numbers. Lemza entered into a covenant with the kobolds. To men shall go the bounty of the sea, to kobolds shall go bounty of the land. An ostensibly equitable arrangement, conspicuously lacking in detail. Aye, inadvertently or not, the wrong was ambiguous, and we took advantage of it, moving it to claim the northern reaches of La Nosca, which the kobolds believed theirs. Bloodshed followed, then bloodshed to answer the bloodshed, and so on as it went, till every elm of Vilbrun bore the stain of our conflict. This is not history, you understand, it is the present, fresh and raw. And with their kindred's blood yet on our hand, we will struggle to regain the kobolds' trust, even should we cure their temper. Admiral, you speak of obstacles which are like to encounter at the meeting, but as things stand, I see no reason why the kobolds would agree to a meeting in the first place. And so we must provide a reason. I will restore their stolen crystals to them and personally deliver the cargo along with my apologies. Bait. They would welcome us into their midst not to speak of peace, but to have you at their mercy. Aye, and given the wealth of the crystals we will bring, I'll wager they will attempt to summon Titan then and there. Meaning a high priest would need to be present, to whom we could administer the cure. Precisely. He is the fish I would catch, but he will not be alone. Nay, he will have guards on hand, and they will lay down their lives to protect him. Yet a single death on the kobold's side would jeopardize our chance at peace, and there are many founders. Yet he need not. What if we were to employ the Conqueror's Chain? Though we would still have to weaken the kobolds, it would allow us to subdue them without inflicting lasting harm. The artifact Mistbeard used to take goods and not life. Aye, that would serve. Well done, Marshal. So, friends, what think of our strategy? The efforts of tempering are cumulative, and we may safely assume that the High Priest's exposure to primal influence is extensive. It will therefore take a great deal of Aether to reverse its effects, not to mention time. Time during which Alizé would be defenseless, even should we all look to her protection. I am not convinced we would keep an entire army of kobolds at bay. Well, I'm happy to take that risk. It's not as if we have any other choice. Besides, it's what Tesleen would do. And had I not followed her example, we wouldn't have had a cure for tempering, much less a chance to bring peace to Vilbrand. So I'm going to cure that priest, or die trying. And I believe in you too, you and everyone. I know you'll keep me safe. It is settled then. See to your preparations and make for Camp Overlook. We will join you there anon. Be under no misapprehension. The extent of the High Priest's tempering is like to far exceed that of Gabu. But then his was a relatively mild case. Milder, indeed, that the majority of those who we wish to save. The coming mission will be a truer test of our treatment. I have no doubt that Alizé will succeed with the cure, if we can but afford her to the time. Alphina wasn't lying when he said I'd be defenseless, so I'm counting on you all to give me that time I need. Our sole purpose will be to keep you out of harm's way, so leave that to us and focus on your own tasks. Indeed, and should you want for Aether, you need only say the word. Gabu, did you follow us here? There's something important that I want to say to the High Priest. Express state say, please let me come with you, please. I'm sorry, but it's too dangerous. I need you to promise me you'll stay here whenever it's safe, alright? My apologies for the wait. It took time, but we have secured our audience. All unforetold as expected. At the mention of my returning their crystals in person, the kobolds suddenly remembered how keen they were to be reconciled. And so, in the glorious spirit of cooperation, we are to be received by Patriarch Zada of the Second Order, who awaits our pleasure in the navel. If you are ready, let us proceed to the Ugarmo mines at once. Okay. That's right. Alize can be forgiven a certain amount of recklessness, but if she goes so far as to contemplate sacrificing herself, I will remind her of how she responded when I thought to do the same. Not that we will let it come to that, of course. Ready when you are, my friend. There's nothing more to say. I'm going to do this for Gabu and Tesling and anyone who's ever dreamed of a better future. Patriarch Zada. If the name sounds familiar, it is because he was the one who presided over the deaths of Gabu's parents. I tried to reach out to him that day, only for my pleas to fall upon deaf ears. But this day will be different. We will reach out together, all of us, and we will take peace in our grasp. The Conqueror's chain stands ready, but weaken your foes, and it will see them subdued. The Aetheryte will bear us to our quarry. Should he make to summit Titan, and I anticipate we will halt the ceremony and restrain him. At this, all hells will break loose, and we will have an army of kobolds to entertain till Alize's work is done. Just remember, none must die. We weaken them and let Anzir do the rest. It is time. Stay the course, my friends. I spy calmer waters beyond this wall. How long have I been streaming? Okay, I'm gonna take a short break. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm back. God, it's been so long since I've been here.
Greetings, Patriarch. I am Merlwyd Blufisvin, Admiral of Limsa Leminsa. I come before you to offer my sincerest apologies for the many wrongs committed by my people against you and yours.
You were foolish to come here. Stupid, unwise, foolish. The Great Father shall have your souls for your folly.
Aye, just as we thought.
Now, Alize! Quickly!
You don't need to tell me!
Let none pass. We must grant her as much time as we can. We must protect Alize!
You're in my sights. You're in my sights. You're in my sights.
Oh, just what we need. You're not alone. you are, Alize.
will do. Here I go. Go, Angela!
Did it work? What?
What is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry, but they died by your hand. You sacrificed them to summon Titan.
No. No, 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 no! Why? Why would I do such a thing? Would that there were a cure for the victims of the Tempered.
Gabu! What are you doing here?
Patriarch, please listen to me. Hear, heed, listen.
Huh.
The Great Father we have been summoning is false. He only hurts us and those we love. For a long time, his voice filled my mind. It told me to do terrible things. Awful, unspeakable, terrible things. But I didn't give in to it, and you mustn't either. There's been too much pain already, so please, end the suffering.
What have I done?
We share this child's desire, Patriarch. An end to summoning, for it spells naught but misery for both our peoples. For many long years, man and kobold have feuded over territory, pillaging and perishing for the earth beneath our feet. It may be said that we fought to survive, but what we have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, and it cannot go on. I would see us set aside the past and work together for peace.
It was wrong of me to hurt my own in the name of the Great Father. Sinful, evil, wrong. But that doesn't mean there can be peace between us. Men cannot be trusted. The bounty of the land was to be ours, and yours the bounty of the sea. But you broke the pact! Violated, breached, broke! Unready as we were! What choice had we but to call upon the divine to rid ourselves of your tyranny?
None. And I do not blame you for it. In violation of the spirit, if not the letter, of the pact, we took your lands for our own. The fault lies wholly with us. On behalf of all Leminsons, I offer you my humblest apology. I pray you'll find it in your heart to accept it. Yet I know an apology alone will not serve to make things right. So, we will revise the pact to leave no room for doubt, and any who violate it shall face justice swift and certain.
No, we won't be fooled. Not again.
Please, hear me to the end. Fleeting though it was, there was a time when man and kobold abided together in harmony, in cooperation. In those days, your people shared the secrets of smelting. Knowledge which allowed Limsa Leminsa to thrive. Much of what we have, we owe to the kobolds.
Huh.
And so, for the good of all who dwell on this isle, I wish to make you an offer. We will bear your people's wares to every corner of the world, and trade them in your stead. In return, we will bring you the bounty, not only of the sea, but lands both near and far. Whatever you desire, the Navigator as my witness, you shall have it. There will be no more man and beastman, just the crew of the great ship that is Vilbrand. And together, we will share in the wealth of the world, if you'll only accept our hand in friendship.
We want to believe you. We truly do. But we believed you before and you betrayed us. Fooled, deceived, betrayed us.
There are bad men, it's true. But there are also good ones. And the ones before you are the best of them. They were always kind to me. Caring, nice, kind, and I trust them with my life.
Before I became Admiral, I was a pirate. I stole, I fought, I stained the sea red with blood. Such is my past, and I dare not forget it, however much I might want to. That is death penalty. The pistol I used to pass judgment on my own sire when he fell thrall to Leviathan and betrayed his comrades. It's loaded. If you were to point it at my head and pull the trigger, I would most assuredly die. Though it isn't much, my life is the single most valuable thing I possess. If it will suffice to atone for past wrongs, take it. A single bullet to annul the old pact, and my blood to write it anew. What comes after, I entrust to this man, my second in command. I know that he will do his utmost for the happiness of all who call Vilbrand home.
I do not trust you. Not yet. But Gaboo does. And I will trust him.
We want you to know that we respect your faith. There's nothing wrong with giving thanks to the land which sustains you. But summoning is different. Should you hear of anyone who would attempt it, we ask that you appeal to their better judgment, or failing that, seek our aid. We're always ready to help.
Many and more of my brethren are yet enthralled to the Great Father, just as I was. If you could free them too, I would be grateful. Appreciative, thankful, grateful.
Tis we who should be grateful, Patriarch. I thank you for affording us this chance.
I'm so glad we could sway the Patriarch, convince, persuade, sway. Thank you for making it possible. Thank you. The Admiral seems hell-bent on worrying me to death, but I suppose the ends justify the means. Well fought, my friend, well fought. In two separate worlds the seeds were sown, and through the determination of the two indomitable women they have quickened into this historic moment. I feel honored to have been present to see it. It has taken a long time, but the dream of lasting peace with the kobolds may soon become a reality, and it's all thanks to Alizé. The treatment may have restored the Patriarch to his senses, but it was the Admiral and Gaboo's words that touched his heart. This moment belongs to all of us, yo. We couldn't have done it without each other. 'Twould seem we have found a way forward with the kobolds. Next we should help the Second Order to free their temporal brethren from thraldom. Theirs is far from the only order, of course, and it will take no small amount of time and effort to reach the rest, but reach them we will, however long it takes. I would say that I was in your debt, but that has long been true. So instead I will say thank you for helping us to plot a new course, not only for Limsa Limonza, but all Eorithia. Savor the moment, girl. Your next task can wait. Judging by the complaints my back is making, I may have overreached myself out of the ravages of old age. If I could befriend you all, then surely other kobolds could befriend men too, and I'll do everything I can to help them, facilitate, assist, help. Gabu is wise beyond his years. It's all very well leaders singing peace treaties, but it fails to individuals to bridge the gap. I dare say we could do with the rest, Alze not least of all, given the amount of ether she has been expending of late.
Right. Let's return to the Rising Stones.
Admiral, something strange is afoot at the floating city.
Breathe, man. What is it?
I think it's best you see for yourself. Please, come with me.
What in the world is that? A tower?
You can see it too, then? I feared I was losing my wits. One moment I was patrolling as usual, and the next it was just there.
Yes? This is she. I am. I'm looking at it. What? Understood. Send the Elder Seedseer my regards. The communications officer. It seems this isn't the only tower. They've sprung up all across Eorzea. Nothing more is known, only that they appear to be of Garlean construction. Our allies on the Alamegan front are on highest alert.
Garlean construction. Curious.
Forgive my directness, but would you join them? They may well need the help.
Of course, Admiral. We shall make all haste.
My thanks. I will return to Limsa to weigh our response. Look for Commander Hext when you arrive in Alamigo, and may the navigators speed you on your way.
Don't worry, Sergeant Son. I'll keep watch over the tower. Your place is in Alamego. Excuse me. Though it isn't visible from here, the local report that a tower-like structure has appeared to the south. Gabu, don't worry, he's with our Maelstrom friends, meaning we're free to deal with the latest problem to fall uninvited into our laps. It appears to be business as usual inside the city, but Lise will be able to tell us if there have been any developments without.
Thank you for coming so soon. I'll send for Commander Aldin at once, and we can decide what to do about these infernal towers.
Rocket preserve!
What? What?
It can't be.
The palace! After them!
You're here, good.
Well, well, well! To be received by such an illustrious cast! Why, even the hero of the piece is here! I feel quite starstruck. Is that a sigh?
His body, more like. You don't fool us.
Oh! You saw straight through it! Anyone would think you dealt with Asians before. Permit me to introduce myself. I am Fan Daniel, and may I say what a pleasure it is to finally make your acquaintance. My, straight to business is it? Suit yourself. It is my intention to recreate the final days. To which end I have distributed a collection of rather ingenious devices, or towers, which will, in time, give rise to the grandest of spectacles.
The final days? But it was the Ascians who labored to prevent them.
You're quite right! Though I would expect no less from one responsible for eliminating my unsundered colleagues. Honestly, the three of them were obsessed with restoring the one true world. As a sovereign individual, however, I never had much interest in such things. I mean, why bother when you're just another sundered minion? Admittedly, Elidibus was not convinced by that argument, but thanks to you, I'm finally free of his incessant nagging. Free to use my powers as I see fit, to fulfill my heart's desire. And my heart's desire is to lay this half-broken world to waste, leaving nary a fleck of dust behind!
What? Why would you want such a thing?
Because I want wretched creatures who ask such meaningless questions to die! You! And you! And you! I want you all to die! And I want to die too! Oh, yes! I want to die and take everyone with me in a paroxysm of pain and suffering! I'm different, you see, from the ancients who clung to dear life, and from you. So don't bother trying to reason with me. You will find I have no reason, or creed, or any such tripe. I just want to destroy the world. But please do resist with all your might. It will add to my enjoyment. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes peeled, for the curtains have risen on the spectacle to end all spectacles. We, the Telophoroi, shall be your performers, and this very star our stage. But I nearly forgot. I have a message for you. My esteemed patron, Lord Xenos, eagerly awaits you at the heart of the chaos. While I wish only to destroy the world, he exists solely to relive a certain, transcendent moment with you. And it is for that reason he would reduce all to ash. Pray see to it his dreams do not go unfulfilled. For if you should disappoint him, my trusty companion here, whom I've dubbed Lunar Bahamut, will burn your cities and everyone in them.
Everyone out! My men will tend to the blaze.
Oh. Very Kafkaesque. Our scouts report that the Asians and his dragon have left Garavina. It seems that was purely a social visit. Though our objectives were different, I could understand why Elidibus and his fellows acted as they did, but Van Daniel? It will take me some time to make sense of it all, if indeed there is any sense to be found. What part could these towers feasibly play in the Teleperoles' plans, do you think? I, for one, am at a loss. For now, we should bear word of these developments to the others. I only hope Thancred and Urianger are safe. Are you alright, yo? The rest of us are fine if a little singed. The dragon left us off lightly, honestly, though. Only a madman would choose the name Lunar Bahamut, which just about sums up Fandango, I suppose. Yep. Thank goodness everyone's safe. We managed to put out the fire, though not quickly enough to save the garden. Rubon, can I leave it to you to send word to the Alliance? I'm going to take a unit and investigate the tower. We need to find out what it's for. We'll go with you. No, you won't. You'll rest from You'll rest from what Melworm tells me you are due some time off duty. Should we learn anything about the tower, we'll be sure to share it with you. Until then, I want you to rest. Very well, but if you need our help, don't hesitate, and take care, both of you. So you really did it. You found a cure for tempering. Oh, it makes me want to do something heroic right now. Speaking of which, I better get ready and set out for the tower. If an Asian is on the prowl, it will not be long before we call on you and yours again. Rest now while you still can. Same dialogue. Though I'm new, or rather old, by which I mean young, though this body has a good deal more stamina than the one I wore out in the first, I confess I've been looking forward to a moment's respite. We've had a busy few days, have we not? Istola returned just before us, and it seems she knows about the towers too. Ah, how good it feels to come home to the Rising Stones. It's here my heart feels most at peace and my mind the clearest. It would seem you have had quite an eventful time in my absence, but I am fully rested now and ready for more. Welcome back, Gil. Make yourself comfortable and let me know if I can get you anything. Ah, you're back too. Good. We received the reports from the Alliance. Since we are all here, perhaps those who bore witness to the events in Alamigo could treat the rest of us to a first-hand account. No sooner do we overcome one problem than another appears. It would all seem tediously predictable, but for the endless variety of our foes. This Fandaniel sounds even more unhinged than his patron. Unhinged, perhaps, but no fool. For all his pantomime theatrics, he gave away little about his plot. We know only that he intends to recreate the final days, and that the towers will somehow facilitate this. He also called his dragon Lunar Bahamut. Let's not forget that little detail. And the creature certainly did resemble the Elder Primal. That may be, but the fact that it answered to Daniel would suggest they are not one and the same entity. I think it more probable that this is some manner of born of Asian magics. Whatever it is, for now we can but work closely with the Alliance and remain vigilant. I believe that concludes our news. What of yours, Justola? I have been to see the Sultana, knowing how quick the immortal flames are to dispose of their tempered. I judge it best to provide them with the cure first. As soon as I had sufficiently recovered, I traveled to Ul'dah and delivered the proxies to her grace, along with detailed instructions on their use. Yet my visit chanced to coincide with their arrival of some troubling tidings. The immortal flames have been on the cusp of agreeing to a truce with the Maja when negotiations abruptly collapsed. The Malja claimed that a number of their kind have been abducted, and that the men are responsible. Not is known of the perpetrators as yet, but as the immortal flames went about investigating the abductions, they came upon one of Fandaniel's towers. On the subject of the towers, you may be interested to learn that they are not an exclusively Eorzean phenomenon. According to the Alliance, they have been sighted as far afield as Yangtze. Jesus. Goddamn. They really up the stakes. Then it would seem reasonable to assume that they are everywhere. We simply have not found them. Well, as you said yourself, we can do little for now, save remain vigilant. And since we are dealing with the dragon, ostensibly at least, I believe it would behoove us to enlist the aid of an authority on such foes. Estinian. Estinian, now just a moment. If he could be persuaded to lend us his lance, I would be the first to welcome it, but the truth is we will struggle even to find him. You let me and Cryo worry about that. Well, we'll sniff him out, no matter where he's hiding. If indeed he is hiding, we have ways of locating him regardless, so if there are no objections, we shall depart at once. Well, rather than sitting around, I think I might go to each of the city-states and educate them in the use of the proxies. They would doubtless appreciate it, but might you consider taking a moment to rest before leaving? You would be fresher for the task ahead. Well, my friend, our moment of triumph did not last long. I feel like this one is really condescending, but maybe it's blasé. Come now, I didn't say that. Well, it may not be the most carefree experience. There's nothing in this world I would rather do than write a new future with you. A long future, mind, whatever that tells for we might hope. We'll stop them, won't we, together? Meanwhile, somewhere in the lofts,
The scouts should have been back by now. I'm gonna go and find them. Oh, thank goodness for that.
Glory be. Glory be. Glory be. Glory be to Garibald!
meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace,
The piles have been driven as planned, and the first of the beasts has roared to life. Moreover, I am pleased to report that preparations are well underway for the rest. Ere long, chaos shall reign over all the land, as befits the final days.
Call it what you will, so long as my friend returns to me, fangs bared and claws sharpened. I care not.
Of course, my lord. By strange coincidence, your dear friend chanced to be present when I made my declaration. I took the liberty of informing her that you await her coming, though I confess, I may have singed her a little in the process.
And why do you tell me this? Are you in such a hurry to die?
Ah, my apologies. I must guard my tongue lest it be the end of me. Though, there is something to be said for such a glorious death. Better to fall to one who has it all than falter before an inferior. I shall keep it in mind as a contingency. For now, however, I shall proceed with the plan. My lord.
I must find myself a new weapon. One worthy of our long-awaited reunion.
Wow. In the face of this new draconic threat, we would indeed benefit from Mestinian's presence. Yet I cannot help but wonder how Krile and Tataru intend to locate him. They certainly seem confident, however. Okay, keep going. Good news, yo. Thancred and Urianger have finished their tour of Garlem Road and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Ah, a welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. Honestly, he might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alize, Raha, and Yo. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't been all been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking a step towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried, and I did try, repeatedly, but no. He decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Ruban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed, it was just as Lee said, worse in fact, devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the Third, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandango? Perhaps, or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one expectation: the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather transform it. Transform it into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its design were certainly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed, or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Vandaniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to have some for Urianger. Which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Ruban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter. As I promised Kyle, we need not all attend. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Urianger before the meeting. If you are curious to know what I will be doing in your absence, let us speak of it another time. At present, Kyle and I have no more than a hypothesis. Do. Wait. Going to the wrong place. Right. Although I was only in Reverend's Toll for a short while, I did manage to squeeze in a brief drink with flamin' spring water, only it being a flying visit. I wonder if there have been any developments regarding the Amaja abductions. It can be no mere coincidence that the incidents began occurring just as the towers first appeared. The Royal Manaraje is still closed to civilians. Van Daniel and his pet certainly left their mark. While we may safely assume that the Telefori are behind the works being carried out on the Imperial Palace, we can only guess at their purpose. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travels in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hail and whole. As are we to see you safely returned from your mission, Urianger. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Well, if it is an Alphinote and his merry band. Ehrenfeld, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd be away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't a part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown up a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I am sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elsian are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Urops such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. Twas not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Mombrita towered over me nonetheless. Ehrenfeld brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company, it's almost endearing. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dona mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? If Fordona is going with him, that must mean Fordola. My apologies. As Ehrenfeld rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Teleforoi's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar, and that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
They have the echo.
Resistant to primal influence as they are, They can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
If it's small talk you're after, look elsewhere. I accept that numbers can prove a hindrance when infiltrating enemy territory, but to send only 2? Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamoldva and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagalthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
was weird. Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He was another name that featured prominently in the history books, and it will be fascinating to meet the man in the flesh. I get the impression Ehrenbold is a lot more apprehensive than he lets on. He will have been grateful Alphanode was there to see him off. So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there is no time to lose. I have only visited Ishgard once before, after the devastation of the Eighth Umbral calamity. To see the place in its former, in all its original glory is a tantalizing prospect indeed. Assuming we find him, this will be my first encounter with the famous Estinian, and if he's half the man Alphanone claims, I fully expect to go weak at the knees, perhaps do a bit of fainting while I'm at it. All present, good. Let us split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Braha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Yo can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory, so perhaps you could try the congregation. Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Still the same dialogue. Good morrow to you, warrior of light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamego, so I gather you have not come in search of him? To what then do we owe the pleasure of your visit? I see. No, we were not aware Sir Estinian had returned to Ishgard. But as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich only to find him absent. In any event, I am afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. Many who pass through Ishgard do so via the airship landing. Were I you, I should linger there. Sir Estinian is every bit as elusive as Urianger suggested.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino. Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald. Good luck to them. It hasn't been easy being his sister, I can tell you that.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azis La.
Azis La? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azis La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt.
Tiamat summoned Bahamut once before. She may have begun willingly or no. Willfully. Not to complain, but I didn't expect to find myself here again. And quite so soon. So this is the Delta Quadrant, where countless dragoons yet lie imprisoned, the great Tiamat among them. I appreciate it just brought us here. It has been quite some time since I last set foot in Azlia, but I understand that the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? Alas not, we had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Yo is the person to ask. As far as I know, she's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Ah yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragon Song War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her even now. I see, then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. The dog is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Our grandfather sacrificed everything to protect the realm from Bahamut. We must be prepared to do the same. The Azure Dragoon of history were the mortal enemies of the dragons. Yet now they would be hard-pressed to find a soul who understood them better. It was the Ascians who taught Tiamat the secrets of summoning, even as they supplied the Allegans with the means to capture primals. So much suffering, all of it by design. Tiamat awaits, this way. Very well. To think that man is responsible for all of this, and so much else that dragonkind has suffered. Resigned to her fate though she may be, I cannot help but feel that we may be able to help Tiamat, would she only let us. So this is one of the 7 great worms. Even thus confined, her presence is overwhelming. My sire's mortal companion, or bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man.
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Ah, that my sins should be repeated. I sense not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save the dragons of Mericidia, our children. The icon claimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools of the Allegan's dark designs.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Yes, the dragons of Mericidia are at the mercy of this Ascian. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Ascians, vile minions of darkness.
Ten es an est in. Est
Again, you would profane the memory of my beloved and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you will not stoop?
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
What wouldst thou have for me, slayer of dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Santalan infan antosk goes and
Were I free, I would answer thine insolence with fire, but words shall have to suffice.
Ale o esk an in ale kum ak in.
Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot well be ignorant of the consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Es snoska dramon kin nestra in illes I nesh an ala.
Indeed, ask the Dragon Slayer and he will tell thee the power we of the First Brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price.
Unmik nalstra ul antal an smon tahi an.
But it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speaketh thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
Sahaan Setso Kin Bahamut
A chance to make amends, to lay Bahamut's memory to rest.
An Sumon Na An Inles Sol and Sin an Stan in.
When our own star faced annihilation, Eidolon granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow. For the debt I owe to Eidolon and to all who have suffered from my sins, I shall fight with you, children of man. The epic. It would seem she still has some pride after all. Let's see if she's as good as her word. I confess my heart was in my throat when Estinian thought to berate her, but it appears to have had the desired effect. It won't make up for what she's suffered at the hands of men, but if there's a chance we can free her, truly free her, we owe it to her to try. While proxies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Alligans kept detailed records on all of their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you, then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. I know Alphanode and Yo here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Estinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first step toward a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you're not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tatur's famous tea, and be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the Flagship. Ah yes, we are familiar with it. If the Chemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel, containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose that could seem rather odd to explain. Rambros, Arianje, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels in the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines, and so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit the nodes here granted access to restricted functions. Having identified me as a being of royal blood, and armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Alizai and I shall remain here and attend to necessary preparations. In the event that the spirit vessel fails to work as expected, you know where to find me. Good luck. It's possible the restraints may have mitigated the effects of her tempering, but Tiamat has been involved to Bahamut for thousands of years. To have clung to her reason through it all says a lot for her strength of will, more than a lot. I would rather leave these elegant contraptions to you and Alpha Node. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is simply to identify the relevant nodes or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Friction between metallic components detected, temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. These nodes, or whatever it is you call them, why do they quiver so? Warning, scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in -2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause intruder interference. Advise deployment of automated combat units. Proceed. Alright. infernal things, one of them sent a swarm of mechanical Velkin to plague me. I must have angered it. I'm afraid Estinian and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? Spontaneously, you say, well, that does sound promising, almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel, whom I dare say it is indeed the note of which Graha spoke. And it was chirping, you say. Very well, let us take a closer look. How did the elegants tell these godforsaken things apart? As I suspected, the note will not acknowledge my authority to issue it instructions. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologists and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel full of royal blood, perhaps? New user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Welcome, Yo Son. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Unable to discharge restraints of specimen team at a system update is required. A system update, what do you suppose it is asking of us? I could hazard a guess. Well, that's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User records agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. The issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating Flacton protocols. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying, but I dare say we will fare far better. We will fare better with guidance than without it. Okay, how long have I been streaming? 3.5 hours. I'm gonna take a little break. I'll be right back.